Welcome to Realfire videos. In this video, we're going to go through the object security feature, which is introduced in Realfire version 4.1, and it is available in the Enterprise Edition. Managing the field and the object security in Salesforce is one of the most labor consuming and it is most confusing aspect of the whole the security, just because there are the flexibility the Salesforce gives you and the number of objects and the fields we end up in creating and visualizing, which objects have access to which profiles and which profiles can do what on a particular object can be really difficult to visualize, and especially when you have a lot of permission sets and we have a lot of profiles. So those Salesforce provides, we can edit a particular profile at the permission set and assign, the the security for multiple objects. But if you want to visualize in across all the different profiles and the permission sets at the same time, it can get a little bit time consuming. So this particular feature would really help to understand, to visualize what kind of access, the different objects have, different profiles and the permission sets have on a particular object, and of course it lets you manage them as well with ease. To access the feature, you can double click on the connection or you can right click on it and open the view. And once you come to this particular screen, you see a tab called Object Security. So if you click on that, you'll come to this particular screen. So here the screen is actually divided into two different sections. One is at the top we have toolbar and at the bottom we have a content area. So by default the content area gives some instructions. So we don't typically refresh when you go to the tab very first time, just because if user goes there by mistake and if they really don't have an intent to make any changes or visualize, and it can be a little bit time consuming aspect, building that particular graph of what permission sets and the profiles and the what objects. So we let the user the control of when they want to visualize the data. So if you want to visualize the data, just click on refresh and select all profiles and the perm sets, which is a permission set, shorthand for permission sets. And this will lay out this particular graph in a two-dimensional plane. So on the left, so we show all the different objects that are available for to be managed, and in the columns we show all the profiles and the permission sets combined. And also you can indicate here, we fetched about 29 objects and a 51 profile in the perm sets. So that particular graph or that particular matrix is being rendered here. So in the row header, as I said, we show object information. So we show the label as the first part, and within a parenthesis, we show the name. So if you have a similar looking label for both, different yeah, the fields, and you can distinguish which is that, which object is that by based on the name of the object. And in the column header, we show the profiles and the permission sets. And the header indicates actually four different pieces of information. So the first is the name of the profile or the permission set itself. So this is a label. And it indicates whether it is a profile or the permission set. So if it is a permission set, it will show as a perm set. You can see here, maybe. Yeah, so you can see here it shows a perm set, and we have a star to indicate there's a standard profile of the permission set. So if we have created a custom permission set, so in our case we have created one at the end called test permission set, so it doesn't have a star indicating that it is a standard, it is a non-standard or custom profile of the permission set. Okay, so then we have the license that particular the permission set or the profile is associated with. So if it is if it doesn't have any license, like in case of a global permission sets, so that particular segment of information will be empty. Otherwise, you will see that particular license information. So that's all about the visualization. So if you come to the toolbar, so the toolbar consists of multiple sections. And the first one is, of course, the refresh, within which we can fetch the latest assignment information from Salesforce to layout. Then we have the two input text boxes to filter the what objects are shown and what profiles and the permission sets are shown. Okay, so then we have various icons that allow you to modify particular information. So we'll come to that particular point. And we have the undo button, which is rather the revert button. So that reverts or undoes any changes that you have made. And of course, the save that actually persists the data back into Salesforce. So making changes is pretty straightforward. So every cell visualizes a lot of information. So basically 6 flags are shown per cell, and the showing a particular icon indicates that particular combination. So in this case, the profile and this object has that particular permission. So in this case, we are showing that, hey, the DNB company object and this particular, the profile has access to create, has access to view the records, it access to edit the records, delete the records, view all records, and the modify all records. So the view all and modify is indicated as, two different eye icons to indicate view and two stacked pencil icons to indicate the modify all. So to modify or to change these particular permissions, you select any cell that you would like to change, and you can click one of these buttons. So here, clicking on this takes away the access, and this gives that particular access. And similarly for other combination of the flags. For example, in this case, we have all the flags enabled, but if you just go and say, user should not be able to create, that flags goes away. But if you click on user should not be able to view, and all other flags goes away. That's because to do any other operation, the view is a mandatory on that. Okay, for example, let's say when you do view, you get the add and as well as a view permission, or you can take it off. Okay. So you can select multiple. So when you make a selection, and that if the selection that you made is different, the change that you made is different than what is available in Salesforce, or what is actually this particular grid was initialized with, and it is highlighted in a in a light yellowish tint. So that indication that something is changed in that. So you can select such cell and you can undo it, and so the change will go back to the version that actually it was. So this change detection is based on not based on the action that it took, is based on actual changes that would be applied. For example, let's say I go and take off the access, then I grant access. So then the grant access so that it doesn't show it as changed, because effectively there is no change that you have made with various actions, because it is access is same as the one that has been retrieved with. You can select multiple cells to make the changes. For example, let's say, you can select like this and you can grant them, access for all of them. Or you can select any cell. For example, you can select cells like this. You can hold a controller command and you can select like this, and you can select like this, and you can grant access. So that access will be appropriately granted or removed. You can also select rows. For example, let's say, hey, you want to give access to this particular object for every profile. You can select that particular row, or maybe more than one rows, and you can click on appropriate permissions, whatever that permission that you need. And of course, you can select multiple columns and appropriately give the permission as well, so that you have complete control on how we want to apply the changes. So if you want to limit the number of the profiles and the objects that are displayed here, you can use these filters. So this will filter the search for particular profile, the permission set. For example, let's say I just want to show this particular test permission set that we have created. You can show that, or if you want to limit by individual objects, so you can show. So this is a contain search. So if any of the word contains what is shown, contains that particular word that you typed, that will be shown. So, and of course you can use combined with to pinpoint exactly what is that one assign. Then of course you can go and make changes to them. Okay. So once you have made the changes, you can go ahead and save the changes. So for example, let's say I want to go and save. Okay, so if you're not able to make changes to them, for example, in this case, we can't make changes to them because they are associated with the standard profile and the permission set. Okay, so you can ignore all of them by refreshing the data one more time. Okay. For example, let's say we just want to make changes to the permission set. So you can custom permission sets. You can select that, and of course you can just give a view access to all of them, or take away the view access and give a view access. So this permission set has the view access on all the objects. You can go and click on save. So this particular case depends on the edit case. So you notice that all other changes have been saved except this particular change. So and error indicates that, oh, you need a permission, edit permission for this particular one. So you can give access that, and you can save, so that information will be saved. Okay. So if you have a lot of profiles on the permission sets, when you click on refresh, it can take a little bit of time, because these filters that are applied once within a grid once the information has been retrieved. But if you just want to limit the number of profiles and the permission sets that you deal with, or if you have a favorite set of profiles and the permission set that you often touch, often make edits to, you can create a groups of permission sets and the profiles. So you can click on refresh and go to manage profiles and the permission sets, and here you can choose. You can click here and say, my sets. So you can choose, for example, let's say I just want to choose the custom uh, test permission sets. Okay. So here the purple kind of one is indicates the profiles, and the blue indicates the permission set, and the star in one of them indicates is a standard profile, otherwise it's a custom profile. So you can create them. Then after that, you can go and fetch only those profiles and the permission sets, and assuming that you are not dealing with whole bunch of data, so it will be a lot faster than otherwise. And of course, because we are choosing all the custom ones, so this looks like a standard one. So we should be able to go and make changes to all of them. For example, let's say so you can give access to all of them, and you can save changes, and that should be saved. So here it looks like we will not be able to assign this appropriate permission for these objects. Looks like that's a restriction that comes with the object definition itself. So in this case, you can safely ignore these errors, and because all other changes would have already been saved. So if you just go and refresh one more time, and you will get the complete picture of what the fields are. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this feature, and let us know if you have any questions, or if there is anything that we can enhance on this to make it easy to manage this information. Thank you.